Welcome to the Popish Plot. I'm Nate.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Mike.
Today we're here as part of our February series for Black History Month on the diversity of the saintly Catholic experience.
Today we're talking about Venerable Augustus Tolton, the first Black American priest.
Well, the first officially known Black American priest. Apparently there were a couple who became priests beforehand, but they were passing because they were half Irish, so they looked pretty, pale-skinned.
And of course, down in Louisiana, that's an entire thing. But Father Gus was known to be black, and it caused him no end of trouble.
Yes.
So he's the only one of the saints in our series who was born an American. Last week we talked about Venerable Pierre Toussaint, born in Haiti.
But lived most of his life
So he's in the running for our contest then of first American-born male saint.
If you paid attention to the Diocese magazine, last year there was a whole thing on him. Because he's fairly local. He didn't live in the Detroit metro area, but he lived in Chicago, which is
close by.
A couple-hour drive.
Exactly. Plus Midwest. So he was born a slave in 1854, and after he was freed, he was always reared a Catholic. He felt a calling to the priesthood.
In fact, it's super weird because his owner's wife was his godmother.
Hey!
Which it seems like at that point you really know that what you're doing is wrong.
But in fairness, you're caught up in a giant system and you're trying to do the best you can within it.
Yeah, and what I found, there's some people who think that they freed him and some people think they escaped, so we don't even know.
Maybe they escaped with complicity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a deathbed freeing if it was.
Yeah. Not deathbed manumission. But even after he was freed, as we know, he was still sadly blighted with racism.
Yes.
And he couldn't enter a seminary in the United States because of simply racism.
Well, he had problems before that.
Sure.
When he was freed or escaped to freedom, him and his, any relatives of his that were old enough to do so worked building cigars. Now, there was a local priest named Peter McGurr who went and let him go to school during the winter when they weren't making cigars at the local Catholic school, which still had a lot of, fighting and arguing for him just to go. This was like elementary, junior high level school.
Sure.
So then, after going to school and getting a Catholic education, he felt the call to be a priest. And every single seminary in America said no.
Well, it doesn't excuse it. It doesn't make it all right. But even now, I'm sure any one of us could go and name some Catholic who thinks that something that is being taught dogmatically, or at least doctrinally by the church, and is a matter of something that they have to actually assent to, takes it as being a matter of prudential judgment.
I don't really have to believe what the church says.
Exactly. That's not a dogmatic teaching.
In America had this really weird thing that all the Catholics, for the most part, lived up north. And so, although, they weren't great at not being racist, they at least didn't espouse slavery for the most part. But a lot of our schools were down south because, again, Louisiana and Florida and stuff were originally French and Spanish.
And a lot, outreach.
Like, I was horribly disappointed with A, reading Gone with the Wind and going, this is so boring, and B, finding out that they were all supposed to be Catholics.
Well, O'Hara.
Yeah.
So, he went to, but, obviously he became a priest, so he did go to seminary in Rome.
Where he also got to learn Italian and Latin and Greek.
Which I have to say, honestly, though, if you're given he wasn't given a choice. But if you were given a choice between going to seminary in Rome or here in America,
Rome.
Take the Roman vacation.
Take the Roman holiday.
Yeah, the Roman holiday.
Not only that, but almost as if, God was making up for all the racism that he had to experience in his life. Guess what his first mass was?
All right, let's see if we're gonna make up for all the things that's happened to him.
It will happen.
Easter? No, it can't be Easter.
No. His first mass was Easter Sunday in St. Peter's Basilica.
All right, so
and he was ordained in the Lateran.
Yeah.
So, good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff for good Father Gus. So, he's ordained, he comes back to America, and lives happily ever after. Sadly, no.
No. For starters, he assumed, I'm, of African origin. They're going to send me to the mission field in Africa. Like, he studied, trying to learn African languages and culture.
He wanted to go on the missions. And instead they said, you're going home. Ah, crap. I hate it there. Everyone's mean to me.
You sure you want me to go back there? Have you been to that place? That place
jerks.
sucks.
They're jerks.
Yes. So he started, the parish he was assigned to. And he made it a parish where it was not exclusively black, which upset people. Like, the area he was in was a lot of German Catholics, so they were upset that, it was,
this was the high
not segregated.
this was the high point of ethnic parishes.
Yes. This was the time when every, the German parish was on the corner from the Polish parish, because they couldn't even be the same parish.
And within sight of the Hungarian parish, but they wouldn't have anything to do with each other.
Well, the Hungarian parish was Eastern Rite back then, so it didn't matter. But not only did it upset those Catholics, but then all of the African Americans who were Protestant, because the majority of African Americans historically were then upset because he was poaching their people.
Yep. So poor Father Gus could not win.
No
matter what he was doing, just trying to serve the Lord and bring people to Jesus, he was upsetting someone. So he was fundamental to the fundraising for Saint Monica, which was known as the National Parish Church for Black Catholics.
Yes, it was also partially funded by Saint Katherine Drexel too.
Who did many good works, especially to serve the Black and Indian communities.
Yeah.
Because again, she saw a problem in the church and said, "Hey, someone should do something." And they're like, "You're someone."
I think she went to the Pope and said, "You should send missionaries to these people." And she said, "You should go."
Which is really hard to get out of that when the Pope says that.
You should say, Your Holiness.
Funny you should mention it.
Your Holiness. You should send people to go help these people. You're absolutely right. I have good news. What?
You're already going that way, right?
You're already heading that way, right? I'm going to send you. No, you don't understand. I'm not a missionary.
You are now.
You are now? Can you give me some time to pray about this? The Holy Father has already prayed about this. Let me know how it goes.
Write to us. Send us postcards.
Anyway, we were talking about, as he was known, Good Father Gus.
Good Father Gus.
Good Father Gus was known as a particularly eloquent preacher and for having a beautiful singing voice.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. This was just a great priest. A man who spent his whole life for others. And so he died at the relatively young age of like 43.
Yes.
Just exhausted.
He was already sick, and there was a heat wave going on, which pre-AC did not help. And, it was right on the water. It was going to be humid and everything, so it probably made it worse.
Living in Michigan, I know what a AC-free hot summer in Chicago must feel like.
Oh, especially when you're wearing a cassock.
Yeah.
So, he passed away on July 9th in 1897. And at his funeral, there were 100 priests in attendance. So, although he had to fight to get an education, to become a priest, to go and have a parish.
Throughout his ministry.
But by the time he had, fought all those fights with, grace and love and respect, unlike St. Moses the Black, we have no stories of him just punching out people.
Nope.
No.
That was an earlier time.
Yes.
St. Nicholas, St. Moses the Black. Now we frown upon that.
Apparently 300s was a very good time to go and punch heretics and whatnot.
Maybe we could use some more heretic punching today.
There is the fact that
I won't say that we couldn't.
We punch with love now.
That's right.
And so, he has been declared venerable. And, even though it's just a private devotion, the diocese has circulated a prayer from the Archdiocese of Chicago that we can all use in our homes, urging one and all to pray for the intercession of Venerable Augustus, so that he can one day be Blessed Augustus and then Saint Augustus.
Although I like calling him Gus better. It's much...
Saint Gus.
Yeah.
Saint Gus.
Right now he's Venerable Gus, but one day.
Venerable Gus, pray for us.
That is fun to say.
I'm just saying,
So
Augustus is very, you expect him to be in the 300 ages, but
Gus.
he's an American named Gus.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
I can get along with that.
Who wouldn't want to have a beer with a priest named Gus? So, comment below with your saint that you want us to cover. Somebody who lived a holy life that more people need to know about. Or somebody who led a holy life you know one thing about, and you want Jessica to do a lot more research on them.
Yes.
Or perhaps someone where you're like, this saint actually seems like relatable because, in Sunday school you learn about all the saints. Like, I hated reading when we were doing church history stuff, and we were reading one about Saint so-and-so, who was a saintly baby, and then a saintly youth, and then spent his whole life being saintly, where I'm like, all right, I'm already not a saint at 5. I've messed up according to this.
This saint who never committed a mortal sin. Oh, well, okay.
He wasn't even upset.
Yes, we really enjoy learning more about the saints and getting a chance to tell you about them. We hope you're having at least half as much fun as we're having doing these episodes, and we'd really like to do more of them. So if there's a saint out there that you think needs a little more attention, let us know down below. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button, the bell next to it so you get notified when the next episode comes out. Give this episode a like, and until next time, remember to live your faith.
Love your faith.
Share that love.